Hi guys, welcome to Code Decode. We have covered almost all the basics of Angular, but as we go into the real coding world, we don't find hello world programs there. There we have to code a real lot. In Visual Studio Code, we are lucky enough to have many extensions to help us code in a very efficient and quick way. So let's get started with exploring these very few necessary extensions that will blow up your mind and will change the way we actually code in Visual Studio Code. So it's nothing but a smart way of working rather than doing a hard work. So let's get started. The very first extensions we have covered already is Eclipse Schema. So Eclipse Schema, this is particular extension I have always used while coding with you, right? So this extension is for developers like me who have coded the backend in Eclipse IDE and they want to reuse those extensions while working with the front end development in Visual Studio Code. So this extension is boon to all of them who have all those shortcuts in mind, like Control Shift R to open a new file, so that these extensions can work here also in Visual Studio Code and you won't have been wasted here. So for all the list of these extensions, we can always find a feature contribution and you will find a table here which says that for quick opening a file you can use Control Shift R, for the search you can use Control H, and all those extensions we have by-hearted while using Eclipse we can always reuse and doing a code during the Visual Studio in the Visual Studio Code during coding for Angular. So this was all about Eclipse Schema. I'll give you one example of Control Shift R, how it works. It is the same way it works here, and I can open any of the file, like I can write child, and all the files with that starting with child will open here. So this is how the Eclipse Schema works. Now second extension that I always support while coding even with you is TSLint. So TSLint is nothing but an extension I've covered in previous section while helped you fixing your code quality. So it will help you increase your code readability, maintainability, and rectify your functionality errors. So how does that do it? I've already told you, but just for FYI, if I forgot to put space here and I've saved my file, what will happen? TSLint will do nothing, but it will actually give you a warning. And what warning it gives? It says that you have missed a white space here, and a quick fix is always available here. With a quick fix you will automatically fix this by clicking on missing the white spaces. So this is how your TSLint works. It will remove all your issues which will give you a maintainability or readability issues. So this was all about TSLint. If you have issues into these two, because I've already covered them, please let me know in the comment section. Now the next extension which we are going to cover, the first one which we are going to use it the first time is bracket pair colorizer. So bracket pair colorizer is nothing but an extension which will help you in finding out is in where your bracket starts and ends, so that you will not get confused in the nested codes. So I have already installed that for you. Let's go in the code here. I'll remove. For any of these description of these extensions, please scroll down and you will see the screenshot how it actually works. These are the settings. These are actually whatever settings, like as in first yellow, blue, pink. These colors are nothing but customizable, and you can customize it looking into the documentation that I have given you. It's very simple and easy to understand. So I'll show you how it works. It says that whenever you start a bracket, it will start with a new color, and if you have internal brackets into it, it will start with a different color. So the first color you will see here is yellow, then pink, and then into if you have some bracket, it will be blue. So this is how color combination goes: yellow, then pink, then blue, and it will again start yellow, pink, and blue. So can you see, this is how it actually works. It will help you in finding where your bracket starts, where your bracket ends, by making it color coded and easy for you to understand. As simple as that. So this is clear. Now the fourth important extension is auto import, and this is important, and I say it important because when you type into a very big Visual Studio Code, then many a times you will find an issue to find which particular class you want to import. So this is the extension which will give you suggestions. As soon as you start typing and click on any suggestion, will actually import that component, service, or whatsoever it is in your code. So I'll install it, and while installing it will go to the description, says it finds and parses and gives the code action and code completion for all the imports. So I'll give you an example here. Say for example, this is app service. So I'll remove this import for you. Okay, so it gives me an error. So when I write app service, it automatically gives me suggestion. So this is what this extension do. It gives you a suggestion, and clicking on that suggestion will automatically import it from appservice.service folder. So this was all about auto import. Now the fifth extension which I'm going to show you here is very important, which is Angular snippet. Okay, it is version 9 as of now, and I will install it for you. So by the time I'll tell you, this extension will actually completely change the way you code in Visual Studio Code. As I always say to you, that coding is all about logic and it is not at all about syntaxes. As languages may keep on changing, the syntaxes may keep on changing, but your logic will remain the same always. So it's time when we should focus on logic and give the task of remembering the sentences for Visual Studio Code Angular to this extension, and I'll show you how in a minute. This is the description. You can read it here, but see, this is a particular Angular snippet. So a component, how am I going to use this extension? So knowing extension is good, but how to use it is a very important thing. So I'll show you here how to use it. I say this is my new dash component, and I want this file.ts file to be a component. So I'll just type a dash component and I'll control space and I enter. Can you see, with just typing 3 letters a-co and putting a control space, the complete component is created for me. So this is the beauty of Angular extension, which is Angular snippet. It will actually help you writing a complete code with just starting it with 2 or 3 letters of it. Now you will initially find it difficult because there are so many shortcuts here. So I'll suggest you to keep it open, and whenever you try to put something, you just search what you have options here. So for example, in snippets you have this, you have HTML snippets, you have TypeScript snippets. You use this snippet and then slowly and steadily you will get used to it. So this is very important extension. Put it as soon as possible, because this is the way you do your smart work rather than doing the hard work of remembering the syntaxes, doing issues and mistakes in these sentences, and then crying after it. So this is the way to do it. Angular snippet. So the next extension we are going to see is switcher, which is nothing but an Angular switcher. So search for Angular switcher here and install it. So what it will do, Angular switcher is nothing but a way to navigate between CSS, TS and HTML file of a particular component. So as in, if we do two-way binding or property binding, we might need to create a variable in TS file, use that in template file, and so many times we have to go back and forth in this extension. So this particular extension is only and only for this particular task, to go to and from the HTML, TS and CSS files while coding. So this is a boon for you when you try to code when you are in particular TS file, and now I have created my item and I want to use it in HTML file. So what I will do, I'll just use Control and U, and this is how I'm made to go into the child HTML. And now from child HTML I want to go to CSS. So what I will do, Control and I, and I see I am in child component.css file. So this is how you can go to and from TS file to HTML to CSS to spec.ts by Alt P. This is how you go and navigate between the files in the particular component. But remember, this is only for one single component, not for different components. So this is how it will make your life easy when you try to code in a particular component itself. Now the next extension is nothing but Prettier. This is a Prettier, Prettier code formatter. Okay. So what will happen if you like have written a code which is a very good code with a very good logic in it, but your code is very untidy? Then what will happen? Your higher authorities will never approve your code. As so, however your code is good, it will not be approved because it is so untidy. So after doing all that hell lot of work to make your code like as in good in a logical way, it is a very tedious task to make it good in the presentation. So now can you imagine a scenario where you have just coded and you have saved your file and magic happens, as in all your code is automatically structured correctly, as in beautified automatically. So this is the power of this extension. As soon as you write something and save your file after putting your complete logic together, automatically all your code will become tidier. So this is the power of this extension. I'll show you how. Once you have installed this, the next task you have to do is control and comma. What it will do, it will open your settings. In that setting, you just have to type format on save. Can you see this checkbox? This checkbox is already ticked for me, but it will not be for you. So you have to go and just tick it up. As soon as you tick it, your formatting will be automatically done as soon as you save your file. I'll show you how. Say suppose I've written some code here, right? Now I'll make it in a bad way. Okay, now I save it. So can you see, as soon as I save this particular file, everything is sorted. All the extra spaces, everything that I've given, all the tabs I've given, everything is sorted here and my file looks very pretty. So this is what the power of this prettier extension does for you. Now the next two extensions are very important if you are a full stack or a front end developer and you have to frequently come across the hitting of backend APIs and get some data or put some data through HTTP request. So next two extensions are for you if you do such kind of task. So this is REST client first for you. You all might have known that REST client is a way to communicate of your front end to back end. That is how you actually hit your backend APIs. So whensoever you try to hit a particular backend API, rather than going to third-party tool like Postman, what you can do, you can actually use this Visual Studio Code itself as a way to hit those backend APIs. Yes, you have heard it right. This is the way I'm going to show you how from Visual Studio Code itself you can hit your get or post or fetch any kind of HTTP request to backend APIs and see what response is actually coming in this Visual Studio Code itself. So I've installed it. What you have to do, how to use it, you have to just go into your app, create a file, say request.http. It's just a name. In this, what I'm going to do, I have things for you already. You have to just go there and just type this command which I have already created for you. Get, and this is nothing but a fake JSON placeholder, and like as in hitting this particular URL you will get some response in a get or a post format. So this is a send request button here. As soon as you do send request, what will happen in the right hand side, I'll remove this for you, in the right hand side you will get your response. So this is nothing but a responses you get from the fake URL. This is JSON placeholder, which is a fake URL for JSONs. So this is how you can send your get request. Similarly, I'll give you an example of post request. I've done that for you also. And if I press enter, what happens is the post request, like as soon as you put your URL, you have to tell it either it is a get or a post. Then below it, you have to tell what are the headers. Like for example, here it is content type. Then I need to send a particular JSON content type as application/JSON and I'm expecting a result. But am I able to see the send request here like I had here? Because in the same file, if you put 3 particular hash, then only you will be able to rectify that this is a different request. So what I will do, I'll just put a send request here button. But since this is a post request, it actually takes some time to hit that particular link and get the response back. So we have to wait for some particular amount of time. So let's wait and see. Just in a minimal time, I'm able to get my response back. This is my title, foo, this is bar, this is your ID have sent, and this is the ID that has been generated by this fake URL for us. So this is how your get and post request maps here in this particular way. And here itself in Visual Studio Code itself, you will be able to see your responses, and hence makes your life much more easier. You don't have to just navigate from one applications to third party applications like Postman to put your applications URL, your headers and everything there, and then view and then map that responses back to Visual Studio Code. So this is a very important extension if you're using the front end development with and you need to interact with backend APIs. Now, next extension similar to this is JSON to TypeScript. And trust me, this is very important extension for you. And this is very important extension because as soon as you try and install it, as I've already installed it, what happens here is this is nothing but an extension. When you are trying to code, you hit a particular backend API, you will get some response, and that response you actually need to map it or cast it into some models or pojos on front end. And you have a very long list of JSON models which are being returned from the backend, and creating each one of those models and pojos on the front end is a very tedious task. So this extension is boon to all of us who are the developers who interact with the backend APIs, who are actually getting some big responses, and mapping those big responses is actually a very tedious task for us if we do it manually. So this particular extension will do nothing but parse the whole JSON and then create the pojos out of it. And now we are stuck as to how it actually do that. So I have given you an example here. This is my JSON response from my backend API, which is nothing but an employees array. This array contains various Pojo objects where they have user IDs, job title, and these are actually 9 of them. So let's do one thing. I'll do a control A, control C. This is the response I get from Java API. I go into Visual Studio Code. How to use this extension is now we are going to learn. So here again, I'll create a new file, say my-pojo, and I want all my pojos here. So I'll do not control V. Control V will actually directly paste that pojo, directly paste that JSON. It will not convert it into a pojo. So how to convert it into a pojo? You have to do Control Shift Alt and V. And within few seconds, you will be able to see that your complete JSON is actually parsed. And as soon as it is parsed, it is actually converted into your pojo. So can you see? This is as simple as that. This is my root object. I save it. And this is nothing but an interface created with all these 9 names which was already present here. So user ID, job title, first name, last name, user ID, job title, first name, last name, preferred name, employee, region, phone number and email. So preferred name, employee, region, phone number and email. So this is how you have created a pojo and a array of that pojo, because there were multiple comma separated JSONs here in this particular file. So this is a boon to all of us, and this is like, trust me, this is very important if you have interaction to backend APIs, which will give you a response in JSON format. Now the last one but not the least one is a very easygoing one, but it is important. That is auto rename. So what this auto rename extension tag does for you? This extension, as in many a times when we change the start or end tag in the HTML, we actually forgot to change the end tag or the front tag vice versa here in the HTML files. Then this extension will automatically change the front or the end tag if we change any one of them. So this was the description. You can see here, this is a complete description here. You have contributions here. This is auto rename, and you can change the default settings of it. This is how you can change it. But how to use it? For that, we will need to go to HTML file. Yes, this particular extension is only and only for your HTML file. So for example, I have H1 here. Now I want that I should see this in H3, and I forgot to change the end tag. So what will happen? It will automatically change my end tag. And similarly, I wanted a H7. I changed the end tag, and automatically my start tag is changed. So this is the beauty of this auto rename tag. So this was all about the 10 extensions. These are the top 10 extensions I loved working with. If you have more or something, please let me know in the comment section. And more such videos, please hit subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you won't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you.